I went to 24th. When I went to 24th, it was cool. I mean, it was cool. It wasn't no, I was ahead of a lot of the kids at 24th. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that. I was running with the older kids. I got older brothers, so I was running with my older brothers. So I was ahead of a lot of the kids at 24th. Like for instance, myself personally, I was into the gang thing. Shit, a lot of them was into dancing and all kind of other shit that seemed weird to me. But then at the same time, I was the gangbanger. And when I was a kid, they looked at me like I was weird because I wanted to be in a gang. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one in the school that, you know how, this the 70s. Imagine how many people wanted to be Michael Jackson. So imagine the Jerry curls, and imagine the dances, and imagine everybody wanted to just be who they wanted to be and express themselves how they wished, right? But at that point in time, there was no conservatism on the gang element. So, you know, at that point in time, a lot of people were just establishing themselves. But myself personally, when I went to 24th, I'm at school, man, and because it's hard for me to try to articulate that in a sense of being a child. I went 24, I started there in third grade, around 1976. We moved over here in 75, and I spent my first year I lived over here, I went to 118th Street Elementary School. But when I went to 24th, I was kind of more of a head because I hung with the older dudes. Because over here, everybody, like I say, where I lived at, considering that I lived in the house and everybody hung out in the apartments and on our porch and up and down the block, I was always around the older dudes. So I would come to school, I was on my gang thing. So I'm in school, the young dudes, the little dudes in school to me was like little dudes, but they was my age. But I was running with the big brothers and stuff like that there. I'm the one staying out late at night. You know, it's like when I tell the story about when I was 11, when I got beat up around the corner. And at that point in time, I was just I was out there. It's funny because my visions of the future back then, all I wanted to be was an OG. Because I was around, that's what I saw. When I went to 24th, my conversations and stuff were different because everybody was into sports and whatever elementary school kids is into. So I was kind of ahead of them. So when I was there, I was gangbanging. I ain't gonna say I was gangbanging because everybody was too young to understand it, but there were people there that did, because you had gang members. There was the evolution of a lot of this. And you did have gang members in elementary school, because I remember a lot of them.
Didn't Iceman go to 24th with you?
No, Iceman went to Vermont.
Okay. I know Trey K went to 24th, right?
I don't know.
Oh no, he went to Vermont also.
Yeah.
24th is over.
Really, everybody went to if you lived near Normandy or across Normandy, more than likely you went to Vermont. Mm-hmm. If you lived near Normandy or across Normandy, you went to Vermont. But 24th was interesting because of the fact that 24th exposed us to, going to 24th, it exposed me early on to the guys from the avenues. It exposed me early on to everything across the freeway. See, it goes back to just like when I always talk about 20th, the Blood Alley area. When we was hanging out over there when I was young on 20th and on the Cordova and LaSalle, on 20th and LaSalle, that area right there, and around Normandy. In those times, I was a kid, but everybody was older than me. But if you was in the area and you was like one of the cool dudes, or well, let's say if you had an older brother or something, right? They hung in that area around 20th Street, right? So we'd go on the block and everybody be on the block. I'd be the youngest one on the block, but I'm in elementary school. When I go to school in the mornings, all of the homies, the homeboys would be walking to Mount Vernon Junior High and to LA Junior High. And it would be funny because you got a group of us, right? Now, let's just say we all come in and we start out here and we walk into school, right? And as we go along, we catching up and the group starts to grow as we grow, right? But then as we move and we pass the schools, then the group gonna start to thin out because everybody gonna have to get to their schools. So I would come, and in the mornings, and this was something that went on for years if you lived in this area. In the mornings, we go to school. We get up and we walk to school. Now we got the group of us, the big brothers and the little brothers are all walking together. Now the little brothers are gonna get off, gonna stop, and they gonna stop at 24th, and they gonna go to school at 24th. Okay, they gonna stop and they gonna go to 24th. They gonna go to school at 24th. Then you gonna have the teenagers. You had the teenagers, let's say 13, 14, 15-year-old. They gonna walk up to Washington. And they get to 8th Avenue, they're gonna get to Mount Vernon. That's their stop. And everybody else is more than likely gonna be going to Mount Vernon. LA High School. because those are gonna be the older kids. But we would all walk to school together. So when you saw us, this is the way that we moved. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like I said, when we were hanging on 20th Street, I was a kid back then. Cause I'm talking about 1970, I'm talking about like 76, 77, 78. You know what I'm saying? But I was going to 24th at that time too. And at that time, I knew everybody who was around. It's funny because I didn't play with the kids, but I knew them. Like if you was my age, if I associated, we was cool. We didn't necessarily play because I didn't play no sports or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I did an interview with a guy. He goes by Mustafa now, co-founder of Gramercy Street Hustler. He said when he went to Mount Vernon, you was the first. He said you was the first gang member he had ever seen. He said it.
Oh, I seen that interview.
Yeah.
Oh no, he said 24th.
And I also remember seeing when the Rollin 20s used to walk through here. And I mean, when they walked through here, it was like 50 of them. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I'm like about 11 years old at the time, right? I can remember when I had my elementary graduation party, my 6th grade graduation party. I mentioned earlier that we used to all have house parties around here, so I couldn't wait to have mine. And so when I had my party, you know, it was going well, and then about 11 o'clock, you know, the Rollin 20 showed up, man. And I mean, you know, I was 12 turning 13, and the cats that came to the party, they was like 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, right? So they like shut my party down, right? And you know, I got vivid memories of seeing them, you know, coming through here looking for the Crips that used to live on this block, is what I was trying to indicate to you. Also, it was an incident that I remember Mad Ronald was talking about on one of his interviews. You know, Mad Ronald and we go back. We were in the 5th grade together, you know, and Mad Ronald, like I always say, was always Mad Ronald. Mad Ronald was Mad Ronald in the 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? I remember when he used to wear his brother's All-Stars. You dig what I'm saying? You know, his brother's big ass khakis, you know what I mean? Couldn't even fit him, you know, but, you know, he was the first young cat that I knew that was a gang member already in elementary school. He was.
What school was this at?
24th Street Elementary.
Oh, okay.
24th Street Elementary. Yeah, when I moved over here, I did my 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade year at 24th.
So what was it like meeting Mad Ronald? I guess, what, you said 5th grade, so that's like 12? No, that's like 11.
No, I'm like 10.
10.
Yeah.
And he's already banging, huh?
Yeah, he was already gang banging. Mad Ronald was an interesting character for me because he dressed like a gang member already. You know what I'm saying? He literally was wearing khakis, you know, they was too big for him. You know what I'm saying? They were his big brother's khakis. You dig what I'm saying? And so, like, he already had a nickname, Mad Ronald. You know what I'm saying? At 10 years old, 11 years old, man, he was the first dude I ever seen that already was a gang member at that early of an age.
Now, did you get a chance to meet his 2 older brothers, K-Ray and Crazy B?
I never met K-Ray. I met Crazy B, but I didn't meet Crazy B until many years later as far as meeting him. But I've always known of him, and because his name was one of the most infamous names in this area, Crazy B, K-Ray, Santa Claus, those 3 names in particular are names from the 20s that resonate with me in my consciousness, in my memory.
Dude, let me tell you some reality, homie. I have been associated and affiliated with this here for close to 50 years now.